Hello guys, it's been 1 month since our last video, so I'm gonna do one today. Sorry for being late. So, have you guys heard of the newest Kirby game on the Nintendo Switch? Yeah, Kirby the Forgotten Land. And because I'm such a big fan of Kirby, I will be making an analysis/review on the game, alright? So, Kirby the Forgotten Land just released the demo of the game a few days ago. But I'm a bit late about it, but I'll talk about it right now. If you open up the game, the first thing that you will see is solo or co-op. And I think that's really cool because this game is basically the first Nintendo 3D platformer with the option to play with a friend, with co-op. Of course, there is Mario Odyssey, but in that game you only play as Cappy, but not a fully functional character like Bandana D in the game. If you have a friend that you want to play with, then Bandana D is just your guy. But the thing about Bandana D is that he could only use the spear ability. He could not do things that Kirby can, like Mouthful mode or copy abilities, but still, really cool character if your friend is around. So in my opinion, the music in this demo is like top tier. And that is really important if you want to create a game that pleases the audience. So I will give you an example. Here, listen to this one. Wasn't that great? I know, right? That was really good. There was so much cheery vibes in that music. So another example that I'm gonna give you guys is the music that they put on when there is like this action scene or the part where we're fighting enemies like that. There's a completely different music, and in my opinion, they both sound equally as good. Here, listen. I have to say that almost all Kirby music that I have heard has always been good, you know? Kirby's music has always been so consistent with its quality. And I have to say, the team that made the music for Forgotten Land did a really good job. And I really hope that it continues that way because I really enjoyed the music in the demo. It's really astonishing how much detail there is in every single frame of the game. So if you start playing, and there's this one scene of the game where you can see like the petals flying down, you can see the buildings from behind, you can also see the trees, the plants hanging around. There's so much detail in it, and it's so nice and gives such a lively feeling when you're playing the game. So another place that I just want to talk about is if you go to like the boss scene in the Forgotten Mall, you can see so many tiny details that you won't even pay attention to, but if you really look at it, it's so interesting, you know? So you can look at all the vending machines, you can look at the stalls in the old mall, you can see the trees, you can see other shops, and it's so nice to look at. In this game, every single level that you play, there will be certain missions or certain goals that you have to achieve in each level, and that's really cool because that gives you a bit more replay value. Of course, this isn't a special thing since other Kirby games have achievement score as well, but it's especially important to have it when the game is a 3D platformer like Kirby Forgotten Land here, alright? I love how in every single level that you play, they will ask you for what difficulty you're gonna play it in. So there's like the peaceful mode and also the wild mode. You can look at it right here, alright? I think this is really important because Kirby games has always been famously easy. And examples that I could give is like Star Allies, where you have like three other teammates that could literally annihilate bosses without any problem. And this game has slightly more difficulty, and it puts up a little bit more challenge, and I really like that. So of course I can't make this video without talking about Mouthful mode, right? Yeah. So the newest mode that Nintendo announced was Mouthful mode. In my opinion, is a really interesting mode, to say the least. Basically in the game, Kirby could inhale an object without fully swallowing it. So I'll show you guys some of the things that Kirby turns into when turning into Mouthful mode. So the first image is of a car, the second of a cone, and third of a vending machine. Yeah. And even though it looks kind of disturbing when you look at it, but it's really fun, and I can't really tell you that without asking you to play it yourself. You'll understand why. Okay, so in terms of enemies and bosses and combat mechanics, in my opinion, the 3D platforming that's happening in Forgotten Land is much better than the previous games. And this is because when fighting as Kirby, you actually have to use more strategy and more aiming than the previous games. For example, when you're fighting the boss, Gorimondo, you have to fight specific places, or you have to dodge his attacks by jumping at certain areas instead of just floating and hovering aimlessly. Does Kirby and 3D mesh well together? Well, the answer to that, in my opinion, is it's better than other 2D games. When you're playing Kirby the Forgotten Land, you have many things to explore, and also many ways you can defeat an enemy. Weapons like sword or cutter is much more complex, and there's so many ways you can use the moves instead of just shooting in front of you. That gives you much more in-depth thinking when you're playing the game. When you finish the demo of the game, you will then be presented with the option for you to evolve your abilities and use the evolved version to replay the first 3 levels. And I love that. I really love that. I love the concept. I love the gameplay. I just really hope that the full release will be as good, and I'm pretty sure it will. So now I'm gonna tell you guys how much I really like the demo. And overall, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. The demo's great, the game's great, music's great, everything's great, alright? It's perfection. And I hope that the people that played this demo, like you guys, hope you guys like it too. I mean, I really liked it. And I hope you guys subscribe. Bye.